Welcome to Life in Huatulco, and this is a rerun. It's been re-edited, and it has a lot of good information about life in Mexico too. And any prices here do not apply. So let's get to our video. Meet Lara. She's my co-suegra, and she is going to jump the hurdles for expats that are new in Mexico and give her tips for adapting to your new life as an expat in Mexico. This is going to be a landline interview. You stay tuned. You might learn some very interesting tips about retired in Mexico now.
Lo primero que deben de hacer es saludar a las personas que viven a los lados, al frente, observar qué tipo de personas son, porque a veces no hay personas muy confiables.
The first thing that you have to do is to go greet all of your neighbors on each side in front of you and observe them to see what kind of person they are, because sometimes you don't have trustworthy people living around you.
Lo segundo es en las tiendas también saludar y pues decir que acaba de llegar a vivir, qué le puede recomendar, donde hay una carnicería buena, donde hay una panadería buena, donde puede comprar las cosas que necesite.
Also go to the little stores around you, and you need to tell them that you're new in the neighborhood and ask if there's a good bakery, a good butcher near you, and ask about all the different types of stores.
La otra sería salir a conocer y fijarse de los nombres de las calles y conocer los horarios y los lugares donde se estacionan los taxis, a qué horas hay taxis, los teléfonos, copiarlos en una libreta, los servicios de emergencia para que puedan, si en dado caso llegaran a tener alguna urgencia. Preguntar qué días pasa el camión de la basura, qué días pasa el camión de repartidor de agua, el del gas, cuándo llega el recibo del teléfono, de la luz, dónde se pagan, en qué horarios hay los servicios.
The other thing you need to do is walk around your neighborhood and get to learn your street names and get to know the hours and places where the taxis wait, and get their phone numbers. Get yourself a book and write the phone numbers down that you're going to need in case of an emergency. Ask around and find out what days that the garbage comes, the purified water truck comes, and the propane gas comes. Learn about those schedules in your neighborhood. Ask when the telephone and the light bills arrive and where you're supposed to go pay for them.
¿Dónde está un hospital? ¿Dónde está un médico? Hay para personas mayores, hay para niños, hay dentistas, hay dermatólogo, pero todos sí hay, pero todos tienen sus horarios y sus días de servicio. No siempre están con un horario corrido. O sea, hay diferentes. Hay medicina alternativa, hay medicina homeópata, alópata, hay masajes, dependiendo de la edad, a qué médicos pueden acudir en caso de alguna emergencia, ya sea servicio gratuito, se puede decir, o de pago más económico, o un médico, un especialista, que cobra un poquito más, pero de todos modos tiene que tomar en cuenta dónde está por si se llegara a ofrecer.
Learn about the doctors in your city. There are doctors for older people, for children, there are dentists, there's specialists, and yes, there are these type of doctors, but they all have their own hours for office visits, and you need to learn what those are. They're not always available for walk-up. There's different types of alternative medicines, and they are available also. Even therapy massages, you need to look into that too by asking around in case you have an emergency and need them. Now there's doctors that are free, there's some that are more economical, there's private doctor specialist, which cost a little bit more, but you need to know all about these when you're living in an area in case you need them.
Acá dependiendo del evento es la vestimenta. Cuando vas a una oficina o un banco debes de vestir un poco más formal, más serio. Cuando está uno en la casa, sale uno a correr, pues los tenis. Hasta es propio también de utilizar tenis en cualquier momento y sandalias, pero la ropa sí debe de ser diferente. Puede uno utilizar sandalias o shorts o playeras, pero si es de alguna oficina necesita uno llevar pues tenis y calcetas. Y así es a la playa, pues ya va uno con sus chanclas o sandalias. A la iglesia va uno más arreglado, más presentable, no ir de shorts ni chanclas. Creo que en todas partes del mundo es así, ¿no? Ir a la iglesia es más formal, más elegante.
Now we're going to talk about attire. When you're going to an office or a bank, you need to dress a little bit more formal and more serious. But now when you're in the house or you left to go for a run, you use your tennis shoes. And actually, tennis shoes are appropriate almost anywhere in Mexico, and sandals, but the clothes probably has to be different for different occasions. If you're wearing shorts and a little top, and you're going to have to go to an office with tennies, then you need to put socks on. Now if you're going to the beach, of course you use your flip-flops. Now going to church, you have to get dressed up, be more presentable. You're not going to go in flip-flops and shorts, but I think that's probably normal all over the world, that people consider churches to be more formal.
Ventanas y cortinas siempre debe de tener uno en la casa porque por seguridad, porque no sabemos si hay gente mala, si alguien se va a asomar. Siempre cuando salimos dejamos las luces prendidas y vamos a llegar tarde. Pues preguntarle a los vecinos sus números de teléfono por si se nos ofrece algo. También ya tenemos a la mano los números de las personas y darles también nuestros teléfonos. Sus chapas, pues verificar que estén funcionando como debe de ser. Y igual cuando sale uno a la calle debe de uno asomarse y mirar a los lados si no hay alguien extraño que esté esperando a que salgamos. Igual cuando venimos en la calle caminando, voltear si no nos viene alguien siguiendo antes de entrar a la casa, porque a veces en algunas partes se ha visto de que abre uno la puerta y viene gente atrás y se meten también. Cargar dinero solamente lo necesario, nunca llevar de más. Y preguntar siempre los precios de las cosas en una o dos, tres partes para que no comprar, no nos quieran estafar por vernos con cara de turistas. Siempre decir yo vivo acá o tiene poco que llegué a vivir, pero sí sé los precios. La gasolina siempre hay que cargar el tanque lleno o un cuarto mínimo, porque muchas veces no hay gasolina, se escasea por cuestiones de que haya en la carretera, porque lo traes para acá. Igual el efectivo. Cuando es preferible tener el servicio de banco en el internet. El sistema acá por la zona muchas veces falla y pues nos quedamos incomunicados.
About your safety, windows should always have a curtain. Why? Because for your safety, we do not know if there's a bad person in your neighborhood who's going to be watching. When you leave at night, always leave a light on for when you come back. Ask your neighbors their phone number, give them your phone number in case either one of you needs something. Always check that your locks are working right. When you leave your house, look around to be sure no one strange is standing around there. And when you go walking in the street, look around to make sure nobody's following you before you get to your house, because there are some places that we know people have opened their home lock and people get into the house with them immediately. About carrying money, you only take what you're going to need that day and the rest you leave in a safe place. Never take a whole lot of money, and always ask in several places the prices of the things, because that way you'll know where to buy and not waste your money. Don't let people think that you're a tourist and charge you more. You could tell people, yes, I'm new in the area, but I know the prices in this area. About gasoline, try to keep your tank full and at the very minimum a fourth of a tank, because a lot of times there's no gasoline in your city because the gasoline's brought through the highway, and there are problems that happen on the highway that leaves the city without gasoline. It's preferable that you have an online account with the bank where you can pay your bills that way, just in case there's no internet and you're unable to take money out of the automatic withdrawal machines.
Tomar mucha agua, no asolearse, siempre las comidas, si va uno a cocinar las comidas, hervirlas bien, dejar que se enfríen antes de meterlo al refrigerador. Si va uno a cocinar puerco, debe de ser bien hervido, bien frito, para que no se eche a perder, porque acá por el calor es muy fácil que se descomponga la comida. Acá está dividido la zona por sectores. En el centro hay todo el tipo de comercio, hay calles donde hay muchas cantinas, hay calles donde hay carnicería, hay calles donde hay zapatería, tienda de ropa, está muy dividido. Entonces hay platería, aunque en el centro pues hay variedad, pero sí hay que tener cuidado donde comprar, y saliendo de las tiendas hay que tener cuidado, no sacar la cartera con mucho dinero a la vista de gente desconocida, o tener cuidado, siempre precaución. Baños públicos no son tan recomendables, preferible ir a una cafetería o a un restaurante que esté más higiénico. En los restaurantes, en las cafeterías, porque en los bancos no hay servicio de baños. No en todos los negocios tienen baños para prestarte.
Drink a lot of water. Simply cook and boil your food a lot. Make sure they're well cooked. Make sure that they are totally cooled off before putting them into the refrigerator. If you're cooking pork, it's got to be really boiled or really fried so it doesn't go bad, because here the heat is such that it does spoil the food very rapidly. Here in the city and in Mexico, we have different zones of different types of businesses. There are bar streets and meat streets and shoe selling streets, and there's jewelry streets. It's all divided a lot, but be very careful where you decide to go do your shopping. When you leave a store and you've done some buying, don't be having your wallet out, putting money away so that everybody can see that. About going to public bathrooms, that's not recommended. If you have to, go to a restaurant or coffee shop where they're cheap, they're cleaner. Banks don't have public restrooms. Not all businesses are going to have bathrooms here.
¿Cómo van a saber cuál comida en la calle está bien o no?
Dependiendo de lo que está uno acostumbrado a comer, es como va uno a ver el restaurante que prefiere. Normalmente todos los restaurantes tienen sus cartas, y ahí puede uno pedirle la carta, preguntar y ver los precios de si ensaladas, si pescados, carnes, lo que uno quiera consumir. Sin ningún compromiso puede uno checar las cartas y los precios. Y luego se ven los restaurantes que no son tan higiénicos. Luego también en las noches sí se venden cenas, venden antojitos en la calle, pero las cosas que son calentadas, hervidas, esas puede ser que estén calientes. Hay horarios, por ejemplo, la comida de antojitos regionales, eso lo hacen en el momento.
How do you know what restaurant to go to? That depends on what your body's accustomed to eating. You can go to any restaurant and they usually will have a menu for you to look over, and you can decide what you want. You can ask about it and you can see the prices, and there is absolutely no obligation to stay there and eat. You can really see and detect which restaurants are clean or not, and at night when you go out to eat traditional Mexican night snacks and coquitos, be sure that the foods that you pick have got to be heated or boiled, and those will be clean. But the ones that they make at that moment with the masa, well, those are the cleanest. Guys and gals, that was my first time translating at the same time I was listening to the conversation. It's a new beginning. Be more interested in the information than the professionalism. Dear precious Laura, we want to thank you for caring about we expats in Mexico. And if this is what you're interested in, learning about adaptation to a new life as an expat, be sure to subscribe and share and hit like to help our channel out. Will you be booking flights, hotel rooms, or a cruise? Use our link below to help us out. Do you need to be able to read your mail while you're living in Mexico? Do you need travel insurance or health care insurance in Mexico? Would you like to book a live chat to answer your questions? Check our links below. Life where? In Mexico!